Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
A San Antonio neighborhood waking up to find racial slurs and disturbing graffiti sprayed on their property yesterday. What we know about the vandals and how the community is stepping in to clean it up. Plus, Texas lawmakers have approved a controversial new congressional map that could cost Democrats several seats. We're going to break down what's coming up next in the State House.
And outside with live cam, it's quiet this morning and even a little bit cooler than the last couple of mornings. But once again, we have a window for rain today. I've got details coming up.
Morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. 6 a.m. on your Sunday morning, joined here by Sarah Spivey.
Happy to have you on the desk,
Happy
Devin.
to be here. Happy to be here as
Although
always.
I do have to say, I'm a little disappointed you didn't wear your glasses, because then we could have been matching.
You know, I literally forgot them at home right when I was coming into the station. So if you tune in for the 8 a.m., you'll see them because I got to run back and grab them.
Oh, that's funny.
So if you see me squinting at the prompt, no, I'm just kidding.
We can trade in between.
Yeah, that'll work, right?
Hey, just like yesterday, Devin, we have a chance for rain, but unlike yesterday, the coverage is going to be a little bit less today. So yesterday we were seeing a decent amount of neighborhoods getting some good rain. Today, less neighborhoods will see some rainfall, but it is still a possibility, and it's cooler. It's only in the 60s in the Hill Country this morning, 66 in Kerrville, 68 in Bernie, 66 in Los Maples and in Lakey. It's 73 here in San Antonio, which is cooler than our usual average morning low this time of year. 74 in Seguin and 71 in Uvalde. This is a look at the rain that fell yesterday. You can see that some neighborhoods got 1 to 2 to even 3 inches of rain. Areas nearer to Schertz and Cibolo up to about 3 inches of rain. About 2 to 3 inches of rain up in Kerr County and 3 inches of rain south of Comfort. You can see that there were plenty of neighborhoods that missed out on the rainfall too. But coverage will be less than it was yesterday. Today we're going to call it a 30% chance from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. for a few downpours. Otherwise, it is going to be a hot day, high temperature near 101. It will be our 5th 100-degree day in a row, and looking ahead to next week, potentially our hottest week so far this year. Those details, as well as additional rain chances tomorrow too, in just a few minutes. Devin.
Thank you, Sarah. Well, this morning, the Kerr County Sheriff's Office needs your help finding this man on your screen right here. This is 49-year-old Robert Jones III. He's considered a risk to his own health and should not be approached. He went missing over in the Alamo Ranch area and was last seen around 6 o'clock near a neighborhood between Culebra Road and Alamo Ranch Parkway. According to DPS, Jones is believed to be driving a black F-150 pickup truck with Arizona license plates. The truck has a custom front grille guard and U.S. Marine stickers on the rear windshield. If you see him, please call the Kerr County Sheriff's Office at 210-335-6000. Well, yesterday morning, a San Antonio neighborhood woke up to find racial slurs, anti-Semitic messages, and disturbing graffiti sprayed on cars and houses. San Antonio police say the vandals are all under 15 years old. I break down the charges they may face and spoke to neighbors about how the community is uniting to clean up the damage.
On Saturday mornings, Matthew likes to try and catch some extra sleep after a long week, but instead...
Somebody kept banging on the door, and it was the police, and they were like, hey, your vehicle's been, involved in some kind of activity with graffiti and stuff, and are you aware of that? And I was like, no, this is new to me.
Neighbors in the Castle Hill Forest area woke up to a colorful scene, but not a welcome one. San Antonio police say a group of 4 juveniles under 15 decided to spray paint anti-Semitic rhetoric, slurs, and graphic imagery on cars, fences, houses, even throwing a rock through a window of one home.
It's a work truck, so I don't really care. I'd rather have pink graffiti on it.
Matthew had 2 of his trucks hit with curse words, graphic imagery, and a slur. But fortunately, a separate group of kids in the neighborhood showed up and helped him buff it out.
WD-40 works great, actually, and it's a little messy, but it worked good for the most part, and it got a lot of this stuff out of here.
In total, 3 cars and 20 people have been identified as victims. San Antonio police say it's being investigated as a hate crime.
They don't know what it was like growing up in the 90s or 2000s. It was just different.
Matthew says he had a lot of free time growing up during the summer, but never resorted to something like this.
We'd be in the cul-de-sac shooting hoops or doing something outside. Nowadays, there's too much brain rot.
Thankfully, he thinks a good car wash should get the rest off.
Would you say anything to him if you ever saw him again?
I just feel bad for the parents because they're in a lot of trouble.
Well, earlier this week, a San Antonio mother went viral on TikTok after she had an incident at the San Antonio Aquarium. That's where you can see right there an octopus clamped onto her 6-year-old son's arm and wouldn't let go. While the boy does have marks from the incident, the aquarium is saying the animal meant no harm. So let's rewind and take a look at this. Brittany Tarrant posted videos of the incident over on July 14th in which she said the aquarium's octopus attacked her 6-year-old son. The boy was left with suction bruises up to his armpit after the animal was pulled off of him by the staff. Now Tarrant is speaking out, advocating for better treatment of the aquarium's animals. We reached out to the aquarium and they sent us a statement yesterday that says, in part, interactions are strictly allowed only with staff supervision. In this instance, the guest leaned over her child over the exhibit barrier, allowing him to reach into the habitat without staff supervision. The octopus displayed typical curious behavior by touching and holding the child's arm, adding, quote, "At no point was the octopus aggressive or attempting to harm the child." Well, it is important to mention this isn't the first controversy over at the aquarium. In 2018, a group stole a shark that was then returned there. That same year, the aquarium was briefly closed due to a fire hazard. And back in 2020, it was shut down after allowing guests in during the COVID-19 pandemic. To read more about this and the past incidents, you can head to our article over on this at KSAT.com. Well, a Texas House panel has approved a redrawn congressional map that could cost Democrats several seats. The Texas House Redistricting Committee voted along party lines to pass the map, which was revealed earlier this week. The new map seeks to make 5 Democratic seats more favorable to Republicans. Texas Republicans argue the current maps are unconstitutional and involve racial gerrymandering. Democrats, on the other hand, say the plan would suppress votes from communities of color. The Texas Democratic Party chair says they will sue if the map ultimately passes. The full Texas House could vote as soon as next week. Meanwhile, in Chile, 2 people are dead as rescue teams race to save 4 workers trapped in one of the world's largest copper mines. The workers were trapped Thursday after a 4.3 magnitude earthquake caused a collapse inside the El Teniente mine, injuring 9 others. Codelco, the state-run firm that operates the mine, says that the first 48 hours are crucial to finding the men alive. Rescuers need to clear about 65 feet of debris to reach the trapped miners, but as of Friday, only 4 meters have been cleared. The Chilean prosecutor's office has launched an investigation into the collapse. Time right now, 6:07 here in San Antonio, sitting at a cool 73 degrees outside. Well, are you a veteran looking for a job? Coming up later on this hour, we're going to be telling you how you can land an interview at a job fair happening this week. Plus, a lot of public spaces for kids have been washed away due to the Hill Country flood, but one family is making a difference. How they're giving back to kids and parents in Kerr County.
And outside with live cam, a cooler start to the day, only in the 60s in parts of the Hill Country, 73 in San Antonio, but believe it or not, we're going to be at 101 this afternoon, plus a chance for some rain. Details coming up.
Welcome back here to GMSA. Taking a look at our TransGuide cameras outside. There's 37 at the Alamo Dome. Tower of the Americas looking great here on this Sunday morning. 37 at 181, doing pretty good. So far, it's been a quiet Sunday morning here on the roads. Not a lot of people going out and about, but hey, whatever you got for the rest of your weekend plans, you can stick with us here at KSAT. We'll keep you covered on what you need to know for today and the rest of the week coming up next here as the sun just starts to peek out over San Antonio. 6:15 right now in San Antonio. Well, over the past 4 weeks, the Hill Country has shown some incredible resilience. People volunteering and supporting those impacted in any way they can. But the floods did wash away a lot of the public spaces where kids used to hang out. Our Zaria Oates shows us how one family is giving back to kiddos and their parents in Kerr County, helping rebuild community after so much destruction.
Hi.
What's your name?
Ellie.
This is 6-year-old Ellie and her mom, Alyssa. Together, they've been making sure the spark in Kerrville doesn't go out, despite how difficult the past few weeks have been.
I miss it.
Ellie's feelings are shared by a lot of the kiddos in the Hill Country.
I miss the splash pad.
Everything that we used to do for free is gone.
The July 4th floods didn't spare much in Kerr County.
The river is gone, our playgrounds were wiped away, our You can't go biking on our trails. Trails are closed down.
So Alyssa Chavez, a stay-at-home mom in the Hill Country, took it upon herself to give the kids of Kerr County a little bit of hope at a time of uncertainty.
I posted on Facebook, hey, does anyone have a space that we could host these little kid get-togethers? And it just blew up. My friend Kayla, this is her dance studio. She was so willing to just throw me in here.
In the days and weeks following July 4th, this dance studio turned into a part-time safe haven for the families impacted by the floods.
We really just encourage like the active play of everything.
This past week, they even had an event at a local shop in town whose owner was directly impacted by the floods.
A wonderful lady who owns the Fancy Finch Tea Cottage here in Ingram, Texas, she lost everything. She's actually living in an RV. For her to offer something, her space, to us and to these kids, it's a reflection of who our community is.
I had blueberry tea with ice in it.
These events for kids and their parents aren't stopping anytime soon.
We actually just saw that quite a few of our Amazon wish list items were purchased, one of them being a bounce house, which we're so excited about. On Tuesday, we are having a build your own trucker hat, kind of customize it with mocktails that's being sponsored by a local mocktail company.
Safe to say the kids of Kerr County are making the most out of a tough situation. Zaria Oates, KSAT, 12 News.
Hopefully next year.
Great story there.
Good high five by Zaria, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Really
solid high five there. Hey, we got some rain in some neighborhoods yesterday.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of that last night.
Yeah, take a look at your screen. You can see some of these pictures sent in through KSAT Connect. This is out in the St. Hedwig area. I love what this gentleman says. He was planning on grilling, but temporarily his grilling plans yesterday were interrupted by a river of welcome rain. And I think that's a great example of what kind of weather we could see today. Don't cancel your outdoor plans, but make sure to have the radar handy because there will be a few downpours. Less coverage than yesterday, though. And let's take a look at yesterday's rainfall. That was in the St. Hedwig area. You can see right there. St. Hedwig itself received somewhere along the lines of 1 to 2 inches of rainfall, but near Zool and near Marion, up to 3 inches of radar estimated rain. There was also a decent amount of rainfall in areas in western Bexar County, closer to Leon Valley and the medical center area, northwestern Bexar County, about 1 inch of rainfall there. And then there was a flash flood warning for areas in Kerr County and Bandera County because these areas, which have been devastated by the recent floods, did see up to about 3 inches of rainfall on saturated soils. There was initially a warning for the Guadalupe River near Hunt, but it never reached flood stage, which is good news. And it was only anticipated to reach minor flood stage yesterday. Anyway, later on today, there is going to be a few storms, about 30% coverage, so less coverage than yesterday. And the time frame there is once again 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. That's the peak heat of the day when showers and storms have a chance to get going. And the reason why we have heat plus rain is because that heat high, which is centered over areas in the desert southwest right now, is allowing for us to be hot, but it's also allowing for a few storms to ride the northern section of this ridge of high pressure. And that's what we're going to be watching carefully over the next couple of days, today and tomorrow. So looking at your futurecast, today there is a chance in the afternoon for a few downpours, 30% coverage, but then tonight we're going to have to watch what develops up in North Texas, because whatever develops in North Texas has a small shot of making it to San Antonio by the day tomorrow. So about a 30% chance tomorrow as well. So today and tomorrow, 30% chance of storms. Once again, pockets of 1 to 2 inches of rain are possible. That could lead to very minor, very localized street flooding issues. No catastrophic flooding from the rains today and tomorrow. And if you do get a storm, just like yesterday, it could contain some gusty winds. Otherwise, we are going to be hot. Temperatures right now are on the cool side in the 60s and 70s, but watch what happens. By noon, it'll be 93. By 4 p.m., 101 for the high. And again, that's when we have that 30% chance for a few downpours. 101 in San Antonio, 102 in Hondo, 103 in Del Rio, 104 in Cotulla, 106 in Laredo. And with that heat high settling over, we're going to have one of our hottest weeks of the year so far. High temperatures every single day, near 100 degrees. And yes, even though it's going to be our hottest we've been in a while, This kind of weather is typical for this time of year. Devin, we're actually in the hottest period of our year typically. So it makes sense why we're dealing with the triple-digit temperatures. And we've had a streak of 100-degree days. How many 100-degree days have we had in a row? I'll have that answer. And of course, a more in-depth look at the rain chance today coming up in the next half hour.
Oh, pains me to say this. Thank you, Sarah. I hate seeing that many. Triple, you know, it's not great, especially when you're reporting out in the field
I know,
a lot. But
sorry, you're not going to wear that jacket out there.
No, thankfully I'm good on that.
Okay.
Don't have to have this out there. Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. All right, time right now here, 6:21 in San Antonio, 73 degrees outside. Well, if you're looking for a fun activity today to do with the family, well, it's Locals Day at the Briscoe Western Art Museum. We'll tell you what that means coming up here after the break. Welcome back to GMSA. It's Locals Day over at the Briscoe Western Art Museum, which means all residents of San Antonio and Bexar County can go and experience the culture and art of the West for free. Now, if you can't make it today, don't worry. This day occurs on the first Sunday of every month, so maybe look out for it next time. All right, looking ahead up here to Tuesday, the Texas Veterans Commission and Workforce Solutions Alamo are hosting a construction industry job fair and career expo. The event's going to run from 8 in the morning to noon over at the Workforce Solutions Alamo O'Connor Career Center. Veterans are going to get early access starting at 8 a.m. with the fair opening up to the general public over at 9. Over 30 employers from skilled trades and project management to safety and accounting are all going to be on hand to meet with job seekers. Attendees can expect interviews to be held right there on site, and some job offers and apprenticeships may be extended during the event. So bring a resume and bring your best looks. All right, time right now here coming up at 6:25 in San Antonio, still 73 degrees outside. If you're planning a trip to Europe anytime in the future, get ready to pay more to enter certain countries. What you need to know before you go overseas. Plus, the economy is feeling the heat as price hikes loom after President Trump's new tariffs. What this means for your wallet coming up after the break. Welcome back. Coming up here at 6:30 on your Sunday morning. Been a good morning so far.
It has been a good morning so far. You know, yesterday we got some rain.
Yeah.
For some folks, it was a bit of a headache. It caused some minor flooding issues.
Yeah.
But many people also missed out on the rainfall. And today's going to be another day where we have the potential for some rain, just less coverage. Yeah. And hey, it feels kind of good outside right now. A little bit cool. I know you got a couple hours to enjoy the cooler weather before it gets hot again. Take a look at temperatures in the 60s in the hill country, 65 in Kerrville and 66 in Rock Springs. We're in the low 70s around San Antonio. Sunrise is beautiful right now, 72 in New Braunfels and 75 in Del Rio and Eagle Pass. In contrast, in Del Rio and Eagle Pass yesterday, we started off in the 80s, so it's about 10 degrees cooler this morning in some places than it was yesterday, but it is going to get hot. Take a look at high temperatures. Later today, we're going to be climbing to 101 in San Antonio, 103 in Del Rio, and 102 in Eagle Pass. So everybody going to be impacted by the heat. Some folks are going to see some rain. Now, today's 101 is going to be the 9th triple-digit day of the year so far. We are so far on pace to be cooler than 2024 when we had 27 100-degree days. 2023 was our hottest year in summer with a high temperature of 100 degrees 75 times. 58 100-degree days in 2021, but it was only just in 2021 that we had only 3 triple-digit days. On average, we see about 18. We could very easily see 18 100-degree days this year because rain chances, this graphic is not showing anything. There's a bit of a hiccup in our graphics here, but from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. tonight, there is a chance for a couple of downpours. I'll give you the details and the correct graphics coming up in just a bit. Devin.
Thank you, Sarah. Well, this morning, we know the name of a motorcyclist who died after crashing into an SUV. This happened last Thursday night over on San Antonio's far west side. So the 23-year-old Ian Garcia was killed when the SUV tried to make a left turn, causing Garcia to hit the front of it. He was thrown from his bike into a neighbor's yard and died at the scene. The SUV's driver and passenger had minor injuries. Witnesses said speeding may have played a role. Police are still investigating, but so far, no charges haven't been filed as of yet. A San Antonio man was found guilty of 20 counts of possession of child sexual abuse material, according to some court records. So take a look at your screen right here. This is 80-year-old Ramsey Joshua Clark. Clark was in possession of the illegal photos and videos in July of 2022 and was arrested in September on 3 counts. The Attorney General's office said a social media account linked to Clark was reported to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children's cyber tip line, and he later confessed to owning and viewing the materials. Court records show Clark legally changed his name in 2019 from Leonard Freeman. As Leonard Freeman, he was convicted of murder with malice aforethought in 1983 and burglary with intent to commit theft in 1966. Clark was released on bond during his trial, which started Tuesday, but was taken into custody Friday after a Bexar County jury found him guilty. Sentencing is scheduled for October. Well, a California man was arrested for allegedly sending money to ISIS fighters. 28-year-old Mark Lorenzo Villanueva was taken into custody on Friday in Long Beach. The Justice Department says that he communicated with 2 people who claimed to be ISIS fighters on social media this year. He allegedly offered to send money to support ISIS. Bank records show he sent about a dozen payments over 5 months, totaling over $1,600. During his arrest, what you can see on screen there, FBI found what appeared to be a bomb in his bedroom. If convicted, he faces up to 20 years in federal prison. Well, economy faces pressure and concerns over price hikes and uncertainty after tariffs imposed by President Trump. Companies are planning to raise prices to offset some of those rising costs when the markets fell Friday following the president's decision to increase import taxes on nearly 70 countries, along with a weaker than expected jobs report. Here's ABC's Johnny Fernandez with the details.
As back-to-school shopping kicks into high gear, concerns about price increases after President Trump announced sweeping new tariffs set to take effect August 7th.
I'm definitely seeing an increase in the prices. The tariffs are definitely a little scary, so I'm trying to get everything ahead of time.
These tariffs would raise import taxes on nearly 70 countries. Every country will face tariffs of at least 10%, some as high as 40%. Mexico is getting a 90-day grace period, but will still face 25% tariffs. In China, talks are ongoing. Current tariffs remain at 30%. American companies say they're passing on rising prices to consumers. Ford estimates the tariffs will cost them $2 billion this year. Procter & Gamble, which makes everything from toothpaste to detergent, says it's raising prices on 25% of its products.
High tariffs are a tax on the American people. The high tariffs increase the cost of doing business inside the United States.
The tariffs following a weaker than expected jobs report Friday, which signal the labor market is weakening. The president furious, claiming without evidence that the job data released by the Bureau of Labor Statistics was, quote, rigged to make him look bad. He then fired the agency's commissioner, Erica McIntyre.
I fired her. Right. And you know what? I did the right thing.
Her predecessor, appointed by President Trump in his first term, says the president's claims are baseless. The president also taking aim at Fed Chair Jerome Powell after the central bank decided not to lower interest rates last week. In an interview with Newsmax, President Trump said he would remove Powell, but that would disrupt the markets, adding his term ends next year.
Powell has said he believes that the best approach is to wait and see the impact of Trump's tariff strategy before cutting rates. Johnny Fernandez, ABC News, New York.
All right, if you're planning a trip to Europe soon, listen up because it's going to cost a bit more to enter some parts of Europe. The European Union announced it's raising the fee for its new travel authorization system. The cost is going to be €20 or about $23 or so, nearly triple the original price. The fee applies to non-EU citizens from visa-free countries, including the U.S. The system is set to launch towards the end of next year. All right, some doctors are thinking you to urge twice before reaching for the allergy drug. This one right here, commonly known as Benadryl. A review published earlier this year says allergy experts from 2 universities call the medication outdated and potentially dangerous. They say safer options like Claritin and Allegra are also available, but at the very least, the experts recommend moving the Benadryl behind the pharmacy counter. The review points out that Benadryl and similar drugs can cause sedation, cognitive issues, and in some cases, serious heart problems. Make sure to always follow the label's directions and warnings before taking. All right, time right now here, 6:37 in San Antonio, 73 degrees outside. A basketball camp in West Houston is paying tribute to a young hero who lost her life in the Hill Country floods. How 8-year-old Lucy Dillon's coach keeps her spirit alive. Plus, 2 phone companies stepping up for customers in the Hill Country in South Texas. How you could get your phone bills waived, coming up next.
And with live cam right now, we are seeing a beautiful start to the day. First light of the day, mostly clear skies. It's going to be sunny and hot with a small window for rain. Details coming up.
Welcome back to GMSA. Happening today, Summer Nights at the Rim. Tonight's show is A Country Heart Texas Strong. It's a local country showcase and benefit night where a portion of the proceeds are going to support the Christian Assistance Ministries in Kerr County. The Texas country artists are going to include Gunter Latham, Clay Hollis, Isaac Jacob, Matt Castillo, and the Teague brothers are all going to be performing live. The concerts are going to be held at the former Rustic location inside the Rim Shopping Center. Doors are going to open up at 4 p.m. and all ages are welcome. You can head over to our website, KSAT.com, where you've got that link where you can buy tickets. And coming up today in Boerne, the community is invited to come together at the Flood Relief Cookout and Family event over at the Random Beer Garden by Boerne City Lake. You can enjoy some live music, food, family activities, and auctions to turn heartbreak into hope, they say. Tickets cost $25 and kids under 12 are free. Every dollar raised will go towards long-term community relief and recovery projects in the Hill Country. Plus, that ticket includes all-you-can-eat barbecue. The event starts at 11 a.m. and to buy tickets, you can visit texasspirit.org. And Verizon is waiving all domestic call, text, and data fees from today for their customers in 95 Hill Country and South Texas zip codes. That's going to include Verizon's prepaid brands like TracFone and Straight Talk. AT&T is also waiving overage charges on customers today. To find out if your phone bills are being waived, you can head over KSAT.com. We've got it up right there for you. All right, looking ahead to Tuesday, officials from Kerr County, the city of San Antonio, and the San Antonio River Authority say they're going to announce a major investment to upgrade the region's flood warning system. The next-gen flood warning system will use advanced technology, infrastructure upgrades, and public education to boost flood resilience, they say. This plan builds on over $2 billion in flood mitigation projects since 2002 and includes the new Predictive Flood Model 3.0, a data-driven warning system. The announcement is scheduled immediately after Commissioner's Court over at the Kerr County Courthouse. And as summer comes to a close, basketball camp at Hoop School in West Houston ends with a heartfelt tribute. Head coach and former WNBA player Heidi Horton honors 8-year-old Lucy Dillon by presenting the Lucy Dillon Legacy Award to a player who embodies her spirit. Lucy lost her life in the Hill Country floods. Today, we're going to meet this week's winner and learn about how Lucy's family is keeping her memory alive.
It's the end of the summer, and basketball camp is coming to an end at Hoop School in West Houston.
Who's guarding her?
The head coach who started the camp 25 years ago, former WNBA player Heidi Horton. On her mind today, and for weeks now, the youngster who is not here, 8-year-old Lucy Dillon, who died in the Hill Country floods. She had coached Lucy since she was 6 years old. But you're keeping her memory alive.
Yes, that's why we turned from our sadness to what can we do to honor this family who is missing their daughter, who will miss her but want her spirit to live on. Her spirit does live on.
To honor Lucy, and with permission from Lucy's family, a special award has been given out at the end of each week, the Lucy Dillon Legacy Award.
Determination, tenacity, sportsmanship, and a fierce competitive spirit. And that's what Lucy Dillon exemplified. And she didn't just do it one day. She did it every day. It was amazing.
As these kids play their hearts out, they take a break for the award to be given to a special child with Lucy Dillon's qualities.
And our award this week goes to Nisha Mehta.
6-year-old Nisha Mehta, whose siblings also play basketball. Were you surprised that you got the award?
Yeah. My mom and dad said we had a surprise, and I asked if it was going to be in camp, and they said no. And then it was in camp.
Pretty awesome, huh?
Yeah.
One of several Lucy Dillon Legacy Awards given out in the past couple of weeks here. Meanwhile, Lucy's family has set up the Lucy Dillon Legacy Fund to raise money to support worthy causes that exemplify her spirit.
So precious. And
Sweet
again,
to see.
in such a tragic situation, our community, not only here, but across Texas, coming together. And so that is good to see. And you're going to be up in Bernie today.
Yes, I will, over at that barbecue event that they have going on over there.
To raise money. Looking forward to your reporting there. And we will have some rain later on today.
Right.
But not as much as what we saw yesterday. It's going to be less coverage, but I did get some good pictures into KSAT Connect.
Yeah, I was seeing some of those earlier.
It's a gorgeous picture. This flower, Pride of Barbados, or there's other names for this bush, but you can see a little bit of rain there dripping from the flower. We are still, believe it or not, in drought conditions, and so any additional rainfall is welcome here in San Antonio. Let's go ahead and take a look at rainfall amounts from yesterday. And you can see on your screen that it was scattered. There were some that got rain and there were some that missed out around San Antonio. Many neighborhoods missed out south of San Antonio and even on the north side of the county toward Bulverde, relatively drier. But there were some neighborhoods that got up to 3 inches of rain, 2 to 3 inches of rain from Marion down to Zool, about an inch near St. Hedwig, about 2 inches of rain east of Lavernia. And then in the hill country, we did see in some areas along the North Fork of the Guadalupe there about 2 to 3 inches of rainfall. That caused the Guadalupe to swell a little, but it never reached flood stage, thank goodness. And you can see that there were pockets of 2 inches of rain south of Comfort, nearer to Bernie, about an inch of rain, where that picture that I showed you is from, and near the medical center, about an inch of rain as well. Now, today, we are going to have another chance for rainfall, but today is starting off mostly sunny. Not too bad out there either, with temperatures in the low 70s, but by 8, it'll already be near 80 degrees. By 10, 86. Around noon, 93. We'll see a few more puffy clouds into the afternoon. And then from about 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., there's that 30% chance for a few downpours. Yesterday, there was a 40 to 60% chance. Today, there's a 30% chance. So a lot less coverage today, but the potential is there. 101 for the high temperature today. It is going to be a hot one all around south central Texas. So why do we have rain chances? Well, the heat high is enough away to allow for the atmosphere to open up in the afternoons for a couple of downpours. I want you to take a look at this complex of storms in Oklahoma right now. Notice how it's riding along the upper level winds there. It's following the direction of the upper level winds. We're going to have to watch what develops in North Texas very carefully later on today. But first, again, this afternoon, there are a couple of pockets of showers possible, about 30% chance. And then tonight, we'll watch what happens in North Texas, because any complex that develops in North Texas, again, could ride those upper level winds and has about a 30% chance of making it to San Antonio tomorrow. So what do you need to know about today and tomorrow's rain chances? 30% chance for you to see rain in your backyard. If you get a downpour, you could easily see 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. That could result in some minor flooding, minor street flooding issues, but nothing along the catastrophic level. And just like yesterday, there were a couple of storms that produced some pretty gusty winds. And so any storms today and tomorrow could easily produce gusty winds as well, up to about 40 miles per hour. So that is the 411 of what you can expect rain chance wise today and tomorrow. Otherwise, it's going to be hot, near 101 degrees in San Antonio, 103 in Castroville, upper 90s across the hill country, 101 in Floresville. We are in the middle of hurricane season, so I do want to take a quick check of the tropics. There's Tropical Storm Gil, which is expected to stay away from Hawaii. And then there's 2 more areas of disturbed weather that could easily become another tropical storm or hurricane on the Pacific. Let's go ahead and take a check of the Atlantic, which has so far been fairly quiet. There's a broad area of disturbed weather that could become a tropical storm, but the chance there is pretty low. And regardless, this is not going to impact our weather here in San Antonio. However, I do want to mention that we are in the thick of when we typically see Atlantic hurricane season ramp up. The peak of Atlantic hurricane season is September 10th. we're right here. So we're starting to see the peak of the season ramp up. We'll keep a close eye on the tropics and the Gulf in the coming month or two, but just know that the next week is going to be fairly quiet and warm. We've got a chance for rain today and tomorrow, but after today and tomorrow, it's going to just be all about that heat, high temperatures, close to 100 degrees, pushing even 102 by Friday.
You know, I always have some friends out of state who always say, oh, it's so hot in the Texas summer. You really got to, June, July, can't imagine. Got to wait till August.
Yeah, August and even early September is, typically though early August is our hottest part of the year. So it makes sense that we're dealing with triple digits, Devin.
All right. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate it. Time right now, 6:50 here in San Antonio, 73 degrees outside. Coming up next, hey, take a look at this. If you're going to be looking at the sky anytime soon, we've got the next celestial event ready to mark your calendars, when and where you can see the longest eclipses in decades. Plus, taking a look outside at TransGuide, starting to get a little busier on the roads here as the sun rises over the horizon. Hey, whether you're looking to finish out your Sunday plans or trying to figure out what you're going to do with the rest of your week, stick with Hear Us on GMSA. We'll keep you covered. All right, folks, mark your calendars if you love planning for some special celestial events, because NASA says a total solar eclipse lasting over 6 minutes and 23 seconds at its peak is going to happen on August 2nd, 2027. A solar eclipse happens when the moon passes between the sun and the earth, casting a shadow on our planet. This is going to be one of the longest solar eclipses in decades. Scientists note that crossing the 6-minute mark is rare, similar to that 1991 eclipse that lasted 6 minutes and 53 seconds. According to space.com, the 2027 eclipse is going to be the longest until the year 2114. It's going to be visible in parts of Africa, Europe, and the Middle East, but unfortunately, most people in the U.S. won't see it without booking a ticket elsewhere. All right, time right now here in San Antonio, 6:55, 73 degrees outside.
Good morning. Coming up on GMA, an overnight earthquake rattling parts of New Jersey and New York, and in the Midwest, air quality concerns with smoke smothering several states due to wildfires raging in Canada. Our weather team tracking it all. President Trump's latest round of tariffs set to take effect later this week, what this means for the economy and your wallet. Plus, one popular weight loss drug could hold benefits for your heart health. Dr. Darian joins us to unpack a new study. And we're gearing up for back to school, tips to get your kids back on track with a healthy routine after summer break. It's all ahead right here on GMA.
With those summer high temperatures in full swing, it's the perfect time to enjoy some watermelon, because today is National Watermelon Day. All right, did you know watermelons are about 90% water and they come with over 1,200 different varieties? Just saying, that's a lot of options you can try during the summer. All right, the National Park Service is waiving entry fees to all of its parks tomorrow. This year marks the 5th anniversary of the Great American Outdoors Act. President Donald Trump signed it into law back in 2020. The Department of the Interior calls it the biggest investment in public lands in American history. The law funded major upgrades and renovations to campgrounds and infrastructure in some of the most treasured parks like Yellowstone and Yosemite. Great stuff to see out there.
Absolutely. It is going to be a good day to be outside. A little hot, though, so take all of your summer precautions. Right now, it's only 73 in San Antonio. Only in the 60s in the hill country, but it is going to be hot today, 101 for the high, and there will be a few downpours, 30% chance from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Not as much coverage as yesterday in the rain, but the potential is there today and tomorrow for a few downpours. Then looking ahead to the week, it's just going to be hot. Triple-digit tally, we're going to add on to it this week. It's been a pretty mild summer for us so far, and this is typically our hottest time of the year, so this forecast makes sense.
Unfortunately, it does. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate everything.
Absolutely. Happy to have you here.
Hey, I'll be here again at 8 a.m. We'll see you all soon. Coming up.
See you then.